All right, so we're always trying to bring you the most important information quickly and efficiently, and you shared this really in-depth report on the process control equipment market.
Yeah.
It is packed with information,
Oh, yeah.
and we really want to kind of like extract the goal,
Yeah.
the crucial insights
Yes.
that are going to give you a real solid understanding of this market without having to pour over every single page.
Right.
So think of this as like your accelerated path to being in the know.
Exactly. We're going deep today
Nice.
into the process control equipment market, looking at where it stands now and where it's likely headed.
Yes.
And we're using this great research report as our guide.
Yes.
Really, the aim is to give you a clear picture of the major changes, the drivers behind those changes, the challenges that are cropping up, and the most promising areas for growth.
Okay, so let's jump right in.
Okay.
This report says that in 2024, the market was valued at around 155,924.8 million USD.
Wow.
That's a huge number.
That's a lot of equipment.
What were the most significant changes in 2024 that led to this valuation?
Well, one of the biggest game changers is the sheer scale and sophistication of industrial automation that we're seeing.
Okay.
We're moving way beyond just simple repetitive tasks,
Yeah.
and into this realm of complex decision-making that's driven by real-time data, and that's allowing for unbelievable gains in efficiency.
Wow.
And the creation of completely new ways of running operations.
Right.
And that naturally drives demand for the equipment that makes it all possible.
It makes sense. And it's not just the desire for automation, is it? The report also highlights stricter regulations.
Right.
What kind of less obvious impact are these regulations having on the design and demand for process control equipment?
Well, think about it this way. It's not just about monitoring emissions or something like that. These regulations are actually forcing industries to adopt really precise and reliable control systems.
Right.
It's not enough to just react anymore. They need to have predictive capabilities to make sure they're always in compliance and avoid those really costly penalties or even, shutdowns.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
No. And this need for prediction means we need more advanced sensors and control algorithms.
Okay, so it's really pushing the technology forward in a way,
Absolutely.
and the need for better operational efficiency. That's always a pressure point.
Of course.
But were there any industries where the urgency for those efficiency gains was particularly acute in 2024, according to the report?
Yeah, the report points specifically to energy-intensive sectors like oil and gas and power generation.
Okay.
And you can see why, with the volatility in energy prices and the increasing focus on cutting operational cost investments in process control equipment, that boosts efficiency were particularly attractive in those areas.
Makes sense. So when we talk about process control equipment, can you give us a more, vivid picture of what's actually involved in managing these complex industrial processes?
Sure, imagine a massive orchestra,
Okay.
and the DCS, the distributed control system, is the conductor. It's managing hundreds or even thousands of interconnected instruments.
Wow.
Sensors, actuators, valves, you name it, in this complex industrial operation to make sure everything works in perfect harmony.
Oh, wow.
From keeping precise temperatures in a chemical reaction to regulating flow rates in a pipeline.
Okay, so it's really like this intricate system that's all working together.
A symphony of industrial processes.
I like that analogy. It really helps to visualize it. And it seems like Industry 4.0 and IoT are really amplifying the capabilities and the need for this kind of sophisticated control.
That's exactly it. IoT connects all these devices in a plant or across an entire enterprise and generates this massive amount of data.
Right.
Process control equipment is critical for capturing that data and then acting on it in real time. It's the foundation for smarter, more interconnected operations, which is really what defines Industry 4.0.
Okay, and the report highlights these key industries: oil and gas chemicals, pharmaceuticals, food and beverages, and power generation. It seems like those same core industries are really driving demand in the Asia-Pacific region.
For sure. Those industries are all about precision, safety, and consistency in their products.
Right.
And when you think about the sheer scale of their operations in places like China, Japan, and India, plus those governments' push for technology upgrades, it creates this enormous demand for advanced process control solutions.
And we're seeing this integration of AI, real-time data analytics, and cloud-based systems.
Yeah.
This feels like it's moving beyond just, monitoring to proactive intelligence.
Exactly. That's the real evolution here. We're moving from reactive control to systems that are predictive and even prescriptive.
Wow.
AI algorithms can analyze these huge data sets in real time to anticipate problems, optimize processes on the fly, and even suggest corrective actions.
Wow.
All of this is leveraging the accessibility and scalability of cloud platforms.
That Emerson Electric example from late 2023 with their AI software,
Yeah.
that really brings this home. It makes you wonder if we're heading towards process control systems that are almost entirely self-optimizing.
That's certainly the direction we're heading in. As AI algorithms get more sophisticated and the data they work with becomes richer, the level of autonomous optimization in industrial processes is only going to increase.
That's really exciting. So we've got a good grasp of the current market.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, the report projects a pretty substantial jump to 233,905.9 million USD by 2032.
That's huge.
What are the implications of that kind of growth for businesses in this sector?
Well, that kind of growth shows a sustained and increasing demand for advanced automation and digitalization across industries.
Good.
For businesses in the process control equipment market, this means there's a lot of investment opportunity
Yeah.
and potential for expansion. But it also means they need to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to tech advancements and changing customer needs.
Right, so it's both an opportunity and a challenge.
Exactly. Got to keep it.
Then a CAGR of 5.2% for a market this size.
Yeah.
That's a significant upward trend. What specific aspects of smart process control are really fueling this projection?
The demand for systems that offer greater efficiency, reduced downtime through predictive maintenance,
Yeah.
and enhanced product quality through real-time monitoring. Those are key. Smart process control leverages data analytics and intelligent algorithms to achieve these outcomes. So it makes it a high-priority investment for a lot of industries.
Digital twins keep coming up.
Okay.
Can you explain that concept a little more?
Sure. Imagine a very sophisticated video game where you have this perfect virtual copy of a factory.
Okay.
You can run simulations test changes in that virtual world before you actually implement them in the real world.
Okay.
That's essentially the power of a digital twin.
Wow.
And it relies heavily on data coming from process control systems.
Right, so it needs that constant stream of information.
Exactly. The accuracy and usefulness of a digital twin depend on a continuous flow of reliable data from the physical assets. Advanced process control equipment provides that crucial data, allowing businesses to really simulate, analyze, and optimize their operations in this virtual environment,
Right.
which leads to better decisions and reduced risk in the real world.
And these drivers, we keep talking about process optimization, predictive maintenance, digital automation.
Yeah.
They're all kind of interconnected pieces of the same puzzle, right?
Precisely. They all reinforce each other. Better process control gives you the data for predictive maintenance, which then optimizes operations, and then digital automation weaves all of these capabilities together into a more efficient and resilient system.
Okay, so it's all about creating this interconnected web of efficiency.
That's a good way to put it.
We're also seeing demand for high-performance control systems and enhanced HMIs.
Right.
It sounds like the human element in these increasingly automated systems is still important,
Absolutely.
but the tools they're using are becoming more sophisticated.
Yes, automation is definitely reducing the need for manual intervention in a lot of tasks, but skilled operators are still essential. They need to oversee these complex systems, make critical decisions, respond to unexpected events.
Yeah.
Enhanced HMIs provide them with intuitive interfaces and comprehensive data visualizations,
Okay.
so they can do their jobs effectively.
And underpinning all of this are advancements in edge computing, AI control algorithms, and cybersecurity. Those enabling technologies sound absolutely vital.
They are. They're the foundation that allows those more advanced applications to work effectively and securely.
Okay.
Edge computing provides the low latency processing that's needed for real-time control.
Uh-huh.
AI algorithms allow for dynamic optimization, and cybersecurity protects the entire interconnected ecosystem.
So it's like a multi-layered approach
Exactly.
to ensuring these systems are robust and reliable.
That's the goal.
Let's zoom out a little bit geographically now.
Sure.
Asia Pacific holds the largest market share.
Yep.
What are the specific government initiatives for smart factories in China, Japan, and India that are fueling this demand?
Well, these governments have launched some really ambitious programs aimed at increasing manufacturing efficiency, promoting tech innovation, and boosting their global competitiveness.
Makes sense.
And these initiatives often involve things like direct funding tax incentives and the development of industrial standards that really encourage the adoption of these advanced automation technologies, including process control equipment.
So it's a pretty concerted effort.
Oh yeah, they're serious about it.
North America, with its 28% share, is still a significant player. What's interesting about the adoption of AI and IIoT in sectors like energy and food processing there?
I think in North America, there's a strong focus on using AI and IoT to optimize their existing infrastructure
Okay.
and to make their supply chains more efficient. In the energy sector, it's about squeezing out every bit of production and minimizing waste.
Uh-huh.
And in food processing, it's very focused on quality control traceability and meeting those really strict safety regulations.
So really tailoring the technology to their specific needs.
It's-
Europe at 25% has its own unique drivers, safety standards, energy efficiency, and digital twin deployment.
Yeah.
It feels like sustainability and risk mitigation are big motivators there.
That's a great observation. Europe's really strong regulatory environment and their societal focus on sustainability are really driving the demand for process control solutions that not only boost efficiency,
Right.
but also minimize environmental impact and ensure top-notch operational safety.
Okay.
And their embrace of digital trends definitely aligns with their emphasis on thorough planning and risk assessment.
So each region has its own flavor in a way.
For sure, understanding those regional nuances is crucial for anyone working in or analyzing this global market.
Yeah.
The specific needs and regulations in each region really shape the types of process control equipment that's in demand.
Let's talk about the competitive landscape. Siemens, ABB, and Honeywell are the big players.
Yeah, big three.
What are some examples of their recent R&D efforts in enhanced automation that really stand out to you?
Well, Siemens has been putting a lot of effort into integrating AI into their automation platforms for things like workflow optimization and predictive maintenance.
Okay.
ABB has been highlighting their advancements in IoT-enabled sensors for really comprehensive process monitoring, especially in energy-intensive industries. And Honeywell has been focusing on developing cybersecurity-enhanced control systems to address the growing threat landscape.
So they're all kind of specializing in their own areas.
In a way, yeah. But they're all pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And these strategic partnerships and acquisitions we see happening,
Yeah.
what are these leading companies typically trying to gain through those moves?
Often they're looking to acquire expertise in emerging technologies,
Right.
or to expand their reach into new markets, or maybe broaden their product portfolios to offer more comprehensive solutions.
Okay.
So, for instance, a big player might acquire a smaller company that has some really innovative AI algorithms for process control.
Okay.
Or they might partner with a regional distributor to get into a new market.
So it's about strategic growth and staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
And with the expectation of intensified competition in 2025, especially from players focused on Industry 4.0 and developing economies,
Yeah.
where do you think we might see the biggest disruptions or innovations coming from?
Well, I think we might see more agile, smaller companies emerging with niche solutions
Okay.
that are tailored to specific Industry 4.0 applications. They might be leveraging cloud-native technologies and focusing on data analytics and AI. And they could potentially challenge those established players by offering more flexible and cost-effective solutions,
Interesting.
especially in rapidly industrializing economies.
So it's about being nimble and responsive to those specific market needs.
Exactly.
Shifting gears a bit, let's look at where process control equipment fits within the broader industrial automation market.
Okay.
It holds about 50% of that market in 2024, with projected increase. What's driving that growth?
Well, industrial processes are becoming more sophisticated.
Yeah.
And there's a greater reliance on real-time data for decision-making.
Yeah?
Advanced process control equipment is essential for capturing, processing, and acting on all that data,
Okay.
making it a more and more central part of overall industrial automation strategies.
And PLCs and DCS are still core components.
Oh, absolutely. They're like the foundation that a lot of these advancements are built upon.
It's interesting how even with all these new technologies, the fundamentals are still so important.
They are. While new technologies like AI and IIoT are transformative, PLCs and DCS remain the workhorses for controlling and managing industrial processes.
Right.
They're the essential infrastructure upon which these newer capabilities are layered.
So it's like building a house.
Yeah.
You need that solid foundation before you can add all the fancy features.
Exactly.
The technological trends, AI, IoT, cloud, they're really revolutionizing this industry. What's a tangible benefit of real-time data analytics that a plant operator might experience?
Well, a plant operator might have a real-time dashboard in front of them displaying key performance indicators, And they might get AI-powered alerts predicting a potential equipment failure hours or even days in advance.
Wow.
This allows them to schedule maintenance proactively and avoid those costly, unplanned shutdowns.
So it's like having a crystal ball in a way.
Sort of. It's about anticipating problems before they happen.
And innovations in digital twins cybersecurity, which is clearly non-negotiable at this point,
Absolutely.
and edge computing are all contributing to a more resilient and intelligent industrial environment.
They're all interconnected and essential. Digital twins allow for virtual testing and optimization. Robust cybersecurity protects against those increasingly sophisticated threats.
Right.
And edge computing enables faster, more reliable control and data processing at the local level.
So they all play a crucial role.
They do.
Those examples from 2023, Siemens, ABB, Honeywell,
Yeah.
they really illustrate these trends in action. It's not just theoretical. These solutions are actually being used.
That's right. These aren't just concepts in a report. They're real-world applications that are delivering real benefits to industrial users.
And Asia-Pacific's continued rapid growth projected at 43% by 2025.
Wow.
The momentum there is pretty undeniable.
It is the sheer scale of industrialization and the strong government support for advanced manufacturing technologies in countries like China, Japan, and India. It's like a powerful growth engine for this market.
And North America's significant share and early adoption of AI suggests a different kind of market maturity, maybe one that's focused on optimizing existing advanced infrastructure.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. North America is often focused on leveraging new technologies like AI to enhance the efficiency and productivity of its existing industrial base.
So it's about building on what they already have.
Exactly.
So with all this in mind, what are the biggest growth opportunities emerging through this adoption of industrial automation and sensor technology?
Well, the ability to achieve greater precision, optimize how resources are used, and enhance overall efficiency across a wide range of industries.
Okay.
From energy to pharmaceuticals to everything in between.
Yeah.
It's creating a lot of demand for advanced process control solutions.
And that need for precision and efficiency in those core industries, it seems like it's only intensifying.
It is. As global competition increases and regulations get stricter, the ability to operate efficiently and precisely becomes a real competitive advantage.
Right, so it's not just about keeping up. It's about staying ahead.
Exactly.
Industry 4.0 and IIoT are the real catalysts here, right?
They are. They're demanding more sophisticated control equipment for all that real-time data and predictive maintenance we've been talking about.
They're really pushing the boundaries.
They are. They create a connected industrial ecosystem where process control equipment is central to collecting, analyzing, and acting on all this data.
That surge in automation technology is accounting for almost 45% of the market share in 2024.
Wow.
That shows how quickly this is becoming the norm.
It does. That figure really highlights how fast automation is being adopted across all these industries.
It's amazing.
It's not a future trend anymore. It's happening now.
Right. It's the present.
It is.
And the role of DCS PLC and SCADA systems in enabling this automation,
Yeah.
they're the essential building blocks.
They are. They provide the fundamental capabilities for managing and automating complex processes.
So those core technologies are still incredibly important.
They are.
The increasing demand for energy-efficient solutions is another big factor.
For sure, sustainability is becoming a necessity, not just a nice to have.
And the rise of smart sensors and AI-driven solutions, that points towards a future with less human intervention and more autonomous operations.
Exactly. We're moving towards systems that can monitor, diagnose, and even optimize themselves.
Wow.
Reducing the need for manual adjustments and improving performance.
That's pretty incredible. The pharmaceutical sector's adoption of PANTI for quality control.
Yeah.
That's a great example of this in action.
It is. PATI represents a shift in how pharmaceuticals are made.
Okay.
It's moving from reactive quality testing at the end to continuous monitoring and control during production, which means higher quality and less waste.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
And AI and ML for predictive maintenance in oil and gas and chemicals.
Yeah. So
That's about avoiding those unplanned shutdowns.
absolutely. By predicting potential equipment failures, companies can schedule maintenance in advance,
Okay.
minimizing downtime, reducing repair costs, and making things safer.
So it's a very proactive approach.
Exactly.
Government initiatives promoting energy efficiency are also creating opportunities in power plants and water treatment.
Yes. Definitely. Government regulations and incentives are playing a big role in driving the adoption of advanced process control technologies in those sectors.
It makes sense.
They need to improve efficiency and sustainability.
And the investment in automation, specifically in water and wastewater treatment,
Yeah,
that really speaks to this growing global focus on resource management.
it does. It highlights how important efficient water management is becoming and the role automation can play in optimizing treatment processes, conserving resources, and protecting the environment.
So it's all connected in a way.
It is. We're seeing this global shift towards more sustainable and efficient industrial practices, with process control equipment right at the center of it.
Despite all these exciting opportunities, the report does point out some challenges.
Yeah, there are always challenges.
That high initial investment for these advanced systems is a big one, especially for SMEs.
Absolutely. That cost can be a real barrier for smaller companies.
And the cost of integrating AI, IoT, and cloud systems with existing infrastructure.
Yeah, that can be a hidden cost.
That could be unexpected.
Retrofitting older systems to work with these new technologies can be complicated and expensive, and it often requires specialized expertise.
Right, and you might have to shut down operations for a while.
Exactly, which no one wants to do.
The need for skilled professionals to manage these complex systems.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a potential bottleneck. It seems like in some cases the technology is advancing faster than the workforce.
That's true. And it's a growing concern. The people who can deploy and maintain these systems need specialized knowledge in data analytics, cybersecurity, industrial networking.
Right. Those skills are in high demand and can be tough to find and keep.
And then there's the lack of interoperability between different systems.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one. When different pieces of equipment and software can't talk to each other seamlessly, you end up with data silos, inefficiencies, and the need for expensive custom integrations.
So it's like everyone's speaking a different language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes things a lot harder.
Cybersecurity risks are a major concern.
Oh, absolutely.
Any vulnerability in these interconnected systems could have huge consequences.
It could. Industrial control systems are critical infrastructure.
Great.
Any successful cyber attack could cause massive disruptions, financial losses, and even safety problems.
So it's not something to take lightly.
No, it's not. Investing in cybersecurity is essential.
And those ever-evolving regulatory requirements?
Yeah, those are fun.
They add another layer of complexity and cost?
They do. Staying compliant with all those regulations across different regions and industries takes a lot of effort and investment. So navigating these challenges will be key for companies that want to really capitalize on those growth opportunities.
Absolutely. You have to be aware of the challenges and have strategies in place to deal with them.
What future developments does the report point to as potential solutions or advancements in this market?
Well, we can expect to see continued advancements in AI and machine learning to create more intuitive and self-optimizing control systems.
Wow.
Edge computing will become even more important, enabling faster processing and reducing reliance on the cloud.
Interesting.
And I think we'll see more user-friendly interfaces and tools that make it easier for SMEs to adopt these technologies.
That Yokogawa OpenX Informatics Manager that was introduced last year.
Yeah.
It seems like a perfect example of this trend towards more integrated and intelligent solutions.
It is. The OpenX platform is a good example of this move towards solutions that don't just collect and manage data, but also provide insights that can be used to improve efficiency and decision-making.
So it's about making the data actionable.
Exactly.
And the growth in wireless process control technologies, that promises more flexibility and lower installation costs.
Absolutely. Wireless technologies are easier to deploy. They reduce the complexity of wiring, and you can use them to monitor remote or hard-to-reach locations.
So there are a lot of advantages.
There are.
The development of autonomous process control systems that can learn and adapt with minimal human input.
Yeah, that's like the holy grail.
It sounds like the ultimate goal for optimizing efficiency.
It is. The vision is industrial processes that can pretty much manage themselves, continuously learning and adapting to achieve optimal performance without much human intervention.
So it's about letting the systems do what they do best.
Exactly.
And the expansion of smart manufacturing and digital twins will provide even more powerful tools for simulation, prediction, and optimization.
Yes, all these technologies are coming together to create a more data-driven and interconnected industrial landscape. Virtual models and intelligent systems will work together to enhance efficiency and resilience.
So even with the hurdles, the overall trajectory for this market looks positive.
It does. The need for greater efficiency, safety, and sustainability will keep driving innovation and demand.
So for you, our listener, this deep dive into the process control equipment market highlights a sector that's being fueled by the increasing demand for industrial automation.
Uh-huh.
Driven by things like stricter regulations and the quest for operational efficiency, Asia-Pacific is currently leading the charge.
Right.
But North America and Europe are still key players. Established companies are dominant, but new entrants are going to shake things up.
For sure.
Technological advances in AI, IIoT, and cloud computing are unlocking a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But challenges like that initial investment in cybersecurity need to be addressed carefully. The future promises even more intelligent and autonomous systems.
It does. It's a really exciting time for this market.
With this growing emphasis on sustainability,
Right.
what innovative applications of process control equipment do you think we might see in areas like resource management and waste reduction in the next few years?
That's a great question. It'll be interesting to see how companies leverage these technologies to become more environmentally friendly.
It's definitely something to think about as industries search for those greener solutions.
Absolutely.
That's all the time we have for today,
Okay.
but we hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights into the process control equipment market.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
It was a great discussion.
Always a pleasure.